Alright guys, today we are going to do the carburetor on it's an exmark. I don't know what the model is on this. It's got a Kawasaki fj180v. Here we go. See if we can find the model number. Hold on, let me pause it. Yeah, it's model number. Let's see if it'll zoom in on it. ecx180cka21000 is the model number. Alright, any of the parts I need for this I'll put in the description below. Air filter, carburetor, whatever I'll need for doing this job. More than likely it's just going to be a clean out. There is an acid I use, I'll put that in the description below. Yeah, alright, so first thing we're going to do is twist this air cover, pull it off. This air filter looks good. It's just going to need to be blown out with air. 10 millimeter. We got 1, 2 right here, and it looks like 11 here. Maybe that's another 10 as well, actually. So we're going to take these 3 out. It's got a little primer ball there, so I'm going to see how that's connected on. I'm just gonna. Okay, there's a tube in the back. We gotta pull, we gotta squeeze that with a pair of pliers, get the clamp out of the way, and then this tube will give it a turn just to break it free. There it goes. You'll hear it kind of click, and then we're gonna pull this straight off. Primer ball right there. It's full of fuel. That shouldn't be full of fuel. That's weird. We'll go ahead, pull that hose off right there, and move this out of the way. That looks fine. Just going to squeeze this clamp right here, and we're going to remove it. Okay, it's going to leak everywhere, so turn the fuel off, and we're going to pop it off. Alright, and then before we get this off, let's keep this in place for right now. I want to drain all the fuel out of here, so let me get our clear container, clean water bottle, just for the first amount so I can see what's in the gas. I'm going to turn this fuel on and start draining it. We can check for water. We can check the color of the gas. Gas color looks okay. Seems a bit cloudy, and that would mean that there's water in it. So as it sits, it should, condensate or settle. And let me turn this fuel off before it fills up and overflows. It seems good. I'm not seeing anything at all, like settling, or I'm not seeing anything at all. It's a little yellow, so it's a little old, but we're going to drain everything out anyways. I just wanted to see what's going on, kind of get an idea why this isn't running. The gas is old. It's not horribly old. It could have ran on it, not well, but it would have ran on it. So we're going to drain all the rest of this tank out. We want to make sure the tank is completely drained, empty, dry, no water, no dust, no nothing in it. I use the air hose and I blow it all out even. So I'm going to get a container and drain this all out. We're going to go ahead and pull this carburetor off. The spring just pulls right on out like that. Slide this carburetor off. Oh, it's hitting the bottom of the lawnmower, but it does come off. It's just tight. And then we're going to turn just like that, and it pops right off. Drain out the gas out of the car by turning it upside down. You look for water. If you see any water drops, you know that you've got water in your tank, and you want to make sure that that's completely clean. What is this? Probably a 13 millimeter. We're going to take that bolt off. Actually, it's a 12 millimeter. This allows fuel into the jet, so you have to make sure that's clean. Gasket stayed on the bowl. I'm going to leave that there. I don't want to mess with it. I'm going to tap on the bowl a few times, make it kind of fall off. Oh, look at that. It's gelled up from fucking ethanol. Look at that. That's great. I haven't seen a load like that in a while, actually. That's nice. Alright, so this thing needs to be completely douched. Alright, so we're going to grab this pin right out the side here. I'll grab it with pliers and slide it right out. Let's get the needle out. Pull the needle valve and the float off. Alright, we're going to get into the good stuff now. So the jet's inside here. See it? So here, hold on, let me get my stuff. This is 14 karat gold testing solution. I've tried all the acids. I've messed up some carburetors doing that. Some of them don't work. Some of them melt the brass out. Some of them melt the aluminum out. I've tried making my own. I've tried Muriatic. Don't do any of that. Muriatic will eat the aluminum. It'll pit it like crazy. So this is, you know, the easiest, cheapest stuff. I'll put it in a link in the description below. If you look at the title, if you're on a mobile device, there's a down arrow next to the title. Click on that. A couple drops. Boil that right out. And we're going to put a couple drops in this jet here. We are going to try to take this jet out, but a couple of drops in there will make it boil out the threads and everything to make it a little bit easier to get out. This will burn your skin. It can burn your eyes. Wear safety goggles. Wear gloves. Don't panic. Water gets rid of it instantly, so if you get in your eyes or on your skin, just rinse with water, you'll be fine. Rinse it gently with carb cleaner so you don't get any splashback. Once we've rinsed that out a bit, see it's gotten a lot nicer and cleaner in there. I take a number 2 screwdriver. You don't want to use the thin one. And I just grind the edges off of it so that it'll fit in, and then it gets a good grip on that jet. Counterclockwise, unscrew it. So the jet's not wanting to come out because of the corroded aluminum, and I don't want to strip the jet out trying to get it out of there. So we're just going to clean it right here and put it back in. So we're going to go ahead and do a couple more drops of acid on this. We're just going to have to do it inside. It's just what it is. So couple more drops of acid in it. Same with this, we'll do a couple of drops of acid. And then the front of the carburetor, not that side, this side, you've got 1-2 more holes. So a drop or 2 of acid in those. Alright, let that thing boil and simmer. These are the idle circuits, so let the acid get in on the other side of the jet. And you see it's doing well anyways. Rinse off gently with the carb cleaner so you don't get splashback in the face or eyes. That was the orifice tube, it wants to slide out. And then gently, once you've gotten it rinsed gently, you can go more aggressively. Just keep safety goggles on. Make sure that's clear all the way out. I think it's still kind of clogged. I'm going to go through it again. Tighten it back in. If you can get this out, the orifice tube will come out too. You can make sure everything's good and clean. But if you can't, don't strip it all out. Don't fuck up the carb. OEM, these things are like 200 bucks. I'll put the aftermarket one. It works just fine. I'll put it in the description below if I can find one. I don't know if they still have them or not, but they had them. They were much cheaper. And we're gonna go ahead and make sure that this is rinsed out good. It'll come out here, and make sure all this is rinsed out. Make sure there's no debris on anything. Just make sure it's rinsed out. Don't take the seal out. Leave that there, or it'll swell up and you'll have to replace it. See, that jet looks nice and new and shiny. Alright, we got all this cleaned out. Now we're going to go ahead and clean out the bowl real well. Make sure all that's cleaned out. Cleaning is fine, just make sure there's no chunks in there anymore. Rinse out your float and needle valve really well. Pin, get this rinsed out really well. Make sure that needle valve is nice and pristine clean. We're going to put the needle valve in. Oh, so it just dropped. It's got to be in the float. Put this needle valve back in the float. Just got to sit in there like that. And then you set it down in. Just like that. And then this pin, put it through, make sure it goes through and holds this float in place. Should look pretty level like that. If it's sticking up like this, that means your needle valve is swollen or there's dirt underneath it. With it like this, you shouldn't be able to blow any air through this. When you lift this up, you should be able to blow air through it. So I just tested it, it's fine. Then we're going to go ahead and put the bowl on top. We're going to put this primer hose on the opposite side of this fuel inlet, I think. And then we're going to go ahead and tighten this back down in there. 12 millimeter. Throttle arm in full, slide it up, put that on. Like that. Should be a gasket between the carburetor and the isolator block, and another gasket between the isolator block and the engine. This spring goes back. Oh. Goes back in just like this. All right, there's that. Fuel line. All right, let me go ahead and blow all this out with air. I got this all nice and cleaned out and dried out. We're gonna stab the fuel line on. Get the clamp back in place. Like that. This is a primer ball. We're gonna hook up the primer hose to the primer ball. Get it shoved down. You know what? I'm gonna cut the tip off this. Cut the little tip off just so it's sitting in there nice and tight. We're gonna stab it right down back on that primer ball right there. We're gonna line it up with the bolts. Push them in. The hose in the back is gonna push right into place like it's supposed to, and then use pliers to put the clamp back in place as well. Just like that. Kind of tuck this in. We don't want it to, you know, get caught up on anything. Just tuck the line in there. And then two 10mm nuts. And a 10mm bolt. So we get these two 10mm nuts and a 10mm bolt. All start it in, then tighten them all down. Air filter off, screw it on. Alright guys, this helped out in any way, shape, or form. Give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Any of the parts you need, I'll put in the description along with that acid. If you want to do any advertising on my channel, message me. Be more than happy to have you. Peace.